Okay, time for our final demo today. I'm going to show you how to quickly iterate through a large number of price waterfall charts. I'm going to iterate through the regions, but you could choose any division you have in your data. You could separate it up by business unit, customer, product category, salesperson. I mean, really anything anything you have in your data that you want to look at your data through that lens. So I'm going to stick with region here, and I'm going to show you how to use pivot tables, formulas, and some copy and paste to quickly knock out a few price waterfall charts. Okay, now the very first thing is we're going to start from scratch here on a new sheet. And we are going to head on over here to our pivot table. And it's all set up from before. And we are going to want to look at everything in terms of by region. We want to create a new price waterfall or a separate price waterfall for each region in our data. So if you just select a region, it should automatically drop down to the rows. If not, you can click it and drag it down. So all of the data, it's all separated up by region here. So now just copy the data, go over to our blank sheet. You can do paste, values and number formatting. And then while everything is selected, use Control H to do the sum of space and replace with absolutely nothing. We'll do a replace all there. Okay, 10 replacements, perfect. Okay, next up, we're going to copy that information, go down a couple of rows, and we want to do a transpose. Okay, and let's see, we have a total of 7, well, let's say 6, because honestly, we don't really need the grand total there. So we'll just get rid of that. And for each of these, okay, so we have a total of 6. So now I just need to set up 6 additional spaces to do the calculations. And, oh, down one more, 6. All right. And now I'm just going to cut and paste the rest of these down. Because I don't want to have any duplicates. I'll just move the data down for each one. Oh. Of course, moving around just a little bit faster using Control and Shift with my arrow keys. Okay, and there we go. So everything's all lined up here. Okay, next up, we want to actually calculate the percentages for everything. Now, the thing is I know that eventually I'm going to want to adjust these row labels so it shows up right in our chart. So let's just take care of that right here. I'll just copy from this field where we already have everything separated up to where each word will appear on a single line. Okay, and I'm just going to copy these numbers right over here. And here with on the custom here, I'm going to bold and highlight that just because, we're just going to have an entire sheet here with numbers. The more color coding you add to just make it easier to see what's going on, you'll thank yourself in the future. Trust me. Okay, so for this, just as before, we're just going to do a quick calculation. Use F4 to set that second number, the denominator, to a absolute reference there. Change that to percentage, and then drop down that formula. Extend it down. Okay. And okay. Let's actually okay, so this is going to be our base, our change, and our full column. Now here I'm just going to use, here, clear all that out. I'm just going to reference the numbers that are popping in over here. So for full column, once again, you want your list amount, skip your discounts, get your invoice amount, skip your 2 rebates, get that pocket revenue, skip your cost, get those pocket profits. And then just as before, just fill out this chart. Okay, now just a quick sanity check. Make sure that every row that has something in the full column has nothing in the change in base. And of course, that wherever there is a change, there is also a base that goes with it. So we are all set up there. So up next, we're just going to copy this right on down. Just Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Oh, and actually here, there's one error I have here. For this custom label, we'll actually have that reference, that cell over there. That way for all of the regions from here on, it will just pull in whatever the appropriate amount is there. Now, with all of the new numbers, whenever you copy and paste it down, one thing that did not change is this absolute reference value here, this absolute reference in this formula for the list amount. It's still trying to divide by the amount up here in the list amount for the custom region. That is not what you want. You actually want it to all stay here in the Midwest. So just change that first one here for the Midwest, and you'll know there's a problem if any of your list amounts aren't equal to 0. All of your list amounts should be equal to, if any of your list amounts aren't 100%. Each of your list amounts should be 100% because that's the entire point of putting everything in percentages, to see what percentage of the list price each of the changes is. So go ahead and change that formula for the first one, extend the formula down, and then that will update this data here. And just to show you one more time how it goes, just copy everything and just make sure you get it lined up. Like I know this needs to be lined up with the very first row of all this Northwest data. So just Control V. And then same thing, this list amount needs to change. That needs to be a B42. And then extend that down. And you can see that all of the other values, they all update as well. Okay, so you essentially just rinse and repeat all the way down the data set for all of the different regions, just to do the calculations for the individual price waterfalls. The next step is to actually create the chart. Now, during this next step, I am going to encounter an error, which I left in intentionally just in case any of you encounter it as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to quite simply try to use copy and paste on this chart. So this is just from our price waterfall chart, the very first price waterfall we created. I'm going to copy that with Control C. I'm going to go over here just to the right of our data set that we're working on here to do the multiple regions. Going to do a Control V. Okay, so far it looks good, but keep in mind that this chart that I just copied, it's still referencing the data on the price waterfall chart, not on this this video this video sheet that I have here. So what you can do is just select the chart, go to chart design, and you can select the data. So just like before, you know, of course this is currently selected on the price waterfall chart. So you want to select over here to the video chart where we're doing everything, or excuse me, the video sheet. Just select your data set like before, and then you should be able to just hit OK. But look, all of our formatting just disappeared. The entire point of doing copy paste with charts is so you don't have to redo the formatting on your chart every single time you make it. So this is a complete failure. The good news is that there is a simple solution. So what I'm going to do here is just Control Z that. We'll Control Z it again just to completely remove that. So if your chart showed up just fine after you changed the data range, just ignore the next minute or so. But for those of you who did encounter the error, all you have to do is go to File, go to Options, and under Excel Options, go to Advanced in the pop-up menu. And then you're going to want to scroll down until you reach the chart section. Right here. And there are two checkboxes that you want to remove, that you want to uncheck. That's for both of these on the properties, follow chart data points. There's one for all new workbooks. There's one for the current workbook. Just unselect both of those items, hit OK. And now I'm going to try doing that again. Once again, just simply going to the price waterfall, the very first chart we started with. I'm going to copy that over to the video sheet. And I'm going to select the chart that I just copied in. I'm going to go to Chart Design, select Data, and then here make sure that you're selecting the right worksheet. It's still on the price waterfall worksheet. We want it to be over here on the video worksheet. And I just have to select the appropriate data range. When I do that, hit OK. You can see now that the options have been changed. The chart comes right over. Let's see, let's just shrink that just a little bit so that everything fits here. And let's see, for this, we know for a fact that this is for the custom region. So I strongly recommend that as you go through these, you update the labels or the titles on the chart. Otherwise, you're going to get confused. At least I know I always do. So just keep everything accurately labeled as you work through is my suggestion. So this is for the custom region. So that's all set. And now I'm just going to copy and paste this chart for the remaining data. So just go down here. This is going to be for the Midwest. So just Control V. You can see that the range is already on the sheet. You can click and drag this down like that to just change the range itself, but you can't actually move the title when you do it. So, you know, I would just personally Well, actually, if your title's not changing, it's not the end of the world. So we can do that in this case. But if you are doing a lot of iterations, or if there are significant changes that you see that could happen, you may just want to manually change that data range again, just depending on what your needs are. For us here, in the interest of speed, just do another Control V down here. Get the right range. Oh, and I'm not following my own advice. This is the Midwest region, the second one here. And yeah, and you can see the numbers match up. And then finally here, Pacific Northwest. And it's really just rinse and repeat for all of your remaining charts. Naturally, if you want to go against, take a look, do analysis on another marketing variable to see if there's any type of change, see if you're seeing a lot of variation, just go to your pivot table, make the adjustment there, go ahead and remove the region, put in whatever value you would prefer to slice the data up by, and just rinse and repeat. So once you get your formulas and your pivot table set up, it's really just a lot of copying and pasting, because you're letting your formulas do all your work for you. So that's how you do price waterfalls at scale.